Let's dive right into a pretty wild idea that many of the thoughts you think are yours, the ones that feel like you, well, they might not be. They've been shaped by all these forces that we rarely ever see. Now, this isn't some conspiracy theory. It's just about understanding the hidden architecture of influence that's all around us. I mean, really think about that for a second. Every single decision you make, every belief you hold dear, every gut reaction you have, what if you're not fully in the driver's seat? This isn't just some philosophical question. It's actually the key to unlocking a much higher level of thinking. You know, from the moment we're born, we're basically being programmed by this constant flood of information and social cues. So the whole point of this explainer is to help you find the remote control to that programming and put it right back in your hands. All right, so let's start with this idea, this illusion of choice. We love to believe we're these independent, free thinkers, right? But the reality is, a lot of the time, we're just following these invisible scripts we didn't even know we had. And this right here, this is the mind trap. We all live inside it to some degree. It's exactly why arguments on social media get so toxic so fast. Everyone is just 100% convinced that they're right, but they almost never stop and ask that one simple question. Wait, what if I'm wrong? That question, that's the first step out of the trap. So where is all this programming coming from? Well, it's not just one thing. It's a whole ecosystem. You've got schools teaching us what to think, not necessarily how to think, media telling us what we should be afraid of today, and of course, social media algorithms just feeding us more and more of what we already believe. It's just a constant, pervasive influence everywhere. Which brings us to our own minds, because why are we so vulnerable to all this in the first place? Well, it turns out the way our brains are designed is actually being expertly exploited. Our brain has some lazy shortcuts, and they're being used against us. So think of your brain as having two systems. There's the fast, emotional system, which is our default setting, and then there's the slow, logical one. The thing is, using that logical system literally burns more calories. It's hard work. To save energy, our brain avoids it whenever it can, and that's why we're so quick to jump to conclusions and just go with our gut feelings. And here is one of the most powerful shortcuts that lazy brain of ours uses. It's called confirmation bias. It basically acts like a filter on reality. It lets in all the information that makes you feel smart and right, and it actively blocks out anything that might challenge your worldview. It's your brain's little defense mechanism to protect your ego from the discomfort of being wrong. And this just nails it. That feeling of certainty, it's so comfortable, it's safe. But the process of actually being correct, that's often messy, it's difficult, it's full of uncertainty. And our brain is hardwired to pick comfort over correctness almost every single time. Okay, so let's recap. We've got a brain that is fundamentally wired for comfort and certainty. This makes us, well, the perfect target. There are entire industries, massive systems built specifically to take advantage of these quirks in our thinking. And this is their playbook. It's super simple and brutally effective. Step 1. Trigger a really strong emotion. Fear and outrage work best. Step 2. That emotion hijacks your brain, completely bypassing that slow, logical system we talked about. And then step 3. While you're all fired up and not thinking clearly, they offer you their simple solution, and you're way more likely to just accept it without question. And this playbook works so incredibly well because it targets our brain's core preferences. Our brain just loves information that's easy to process. That's cognitive ease. It's drawn to emotional triggers like a moth to a flame. And here's the kicker. If you repeat a simple idea enough times, it starts to feel true, even if there's no evidence for it. And you see this machine in action every single day. News headlines designed to make you angry, so you'll click. Social media algorithms that build little echo chambers to confirm everything you think. Ads that are designed to make you feel like you're not good enough unless you buy their product. And of course, politicians repeating simple slogans over and over and over. You are the target. So how do you fight back? How do you defend your mind against this constant assault? Well, it's not about learning more facts or winning more arguments. It's about learning to ask better questions. This is such a huge shift in mindset. The goal isn't to be the person in the room who knows everything. The real goal is to be the person who questions everything. especially the things they think they already know for sure.
Just look at the difference here. Weak questions are passive. Asking, "Is this true?" just invites your confirmation bias to find some reason to say yes. But strong questions, they're active, they're challenging. They are specifically designed to force your brain to do that hard, logical work it really wants to avoid.
This is one of the most powerful questions you can ever ask. Anytime you see a message being pushed really, really hard, whether it's in the news, an advertisement, a political campaign, just stop and ask yourself this. Follow the money, follow the power. It almost always reveals the real motivation behind the message.
Now, this question is a direct assault on your own confirmation bias. Instead of looking for all the reasons you're right, you intentionally go looking for evidence that you're wrong. Yeah, it feels uncomfortable, but it is one of the absolute fastest ways to get closer to the actual truth.
The next time you feel that surge of anger from a headline or that little jolt of fear from a news report, just pause. Ask this question. It creates a tiny bit of space between the emotional trigger and your response. And in that little space, that's where you take back control. And really, that's the bottom line here. In a world that is literally designed to manipulate your emotions and exploit your mental shortcuts, the ability to think clearly isn't some academic luxury. It's essential. It's a survival tool for navigating reality and keeping your own freedom of thought. So now you see the strings. You've seen the playbook, you understand the traps, and you have the questions that can set your mind free. But, knowing all this stuff is one thing. The real question is, what are you going to do with this power tomorrow?